Welcome to the Real Estate Practice Podcast, the show that helps you know what to say when you're talking to buyers and sellers so that you can close more deals and earn more money. I'm Darren Tunstall, a real estate professional, coach, and #1 best-selling author. Let's get into this. Before we begin today's episode, I want to clarify some important points. I am a licensed real estate agent and my DRE number is 018534445. It's crucial to note that this podcast operates independently of my affiliation with Keller Williams Realty and any realtor associations. My primary goal with this podcast is to provide you, our listeners, with valuable information, insights, and practical tools. As a reminder, the purpose of Scripts and Dialogues is to come, learn, practice, and be prepared to fail forward. This is where we make mistakes and help each other out, but we're mostly interested in seeing how we can get better. First, we read through the script word for word, and then we go back and put it into our own natural tone, style, and phrasing. You won't know what to say until you go through the script. So, with that said, many people will say, that's not how I sound, and I totally get it. That's not how you sound. But that is the reason why we practice every day, so that the script becomes you and in your own voice. So read it word for word first, then go back and put it into your own natural tone, style, and phrasing, and I think it'll work out. Today is explaining the home buying process in 15 steps. And before we start, I want to share my screen real quick just to show you what's going on. Mondays are always different. Like I said earlier, we're always doing presentations. There's multiple things going on with the presentation. There's one, the dialogue practice, and then knowing the presentation itself. And then secondly, when you're going on an appointment, what do you bring? So you should always have a buyer folder or a seller folder that you bring with you. You can color code these. I typically like to color code them black for buyers and red for sellers. It's up to you. You can do whatever you like. What we're doing today is the home buying process in 15 steps. You may have more steps, you may have less steps. That's completely up to you. All right. This is just what I've identified. But what I want to make sure that we understand is we're already in front of the client. Okay. We're in front of the client, we're meeting with them. We're going through our presentation, and if you don't have one, you're welcome to use this one, download it, put your own info on it, make sure it's compliant with your picture, your DRE number, your everything, right? But I want to show you one particular slide, this slide in the presentation. You might have some buyers who are, and sellers, because we have a presentation that's very similar and a dialogue that's very similar, but you might have some buyers, in this case, who've already gone through the process and they're fairly seasoned. They understand it, right? So great. If they know most of these, you can just sort of gloss right over them, but make sure you just say, hey, today's the initial meeting. That's what we're doing right now, partnering with an agent. I'm that person. And all we need to really do is go ahead and sign the agreement today. But before we do that, I want to make sure that we review all the steps that it takes to sell to buy a home. And so you just kind of briefly go over it, and then until you get to the end. If they don't know the process, maybe they're a first-time home buyer, then it's a good idea to go through these in detail and explain each step to them in the process. So when you're practicing this dialogue, you can determine whether they're seasoned or whether they're a first-time home buyer or just need a brush up on the steps in itself. I wanted to make sure that you understood that. So that we're in front of the client, you open up your presentation, you're going through it, here's what it takes. Because this is one of the major things that people want to know. What is the process of buying a home? What is the process of selling a home? So that's why we've created this dialogue specifically just for that. We're going through this dialogue, but we're using our presentation as a reference. Does that make sense to everyone?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Okay. With that, this is the home buying process in 15 steps. There's not a whole lot of response, but create a dialogue and let's just go from there. And it can get fairly long. So for the purpose of time, make it fairly brief and short, and I'm sure you'll be good. So let's go ahead and break out. Hey, sorry, Will.
No worries.
I just realized one other person was just listening in. So we're gonna have you pair up with Melinda today.
Okay.
And Melinda, where's your
Hmm.
license at again? Where are you at again?
It doesn't exist yet,
Oh, that's right. That's right. But you're amazing at it, that's
but
for
I
sure.
don't know about that. But thank you. I take my exam on the 21st.
Gotcha. And you will pass because you're awesome.
Yay. Thank you.
Cool. All right, so let's go ahead and have Will be the agent first, and Melinda, you'll be the buyer, and then we'll reverse roles and go from there. So you're welcome to review it, put it in your own words, or read it word for word, however you want to do it. You're both really good at this. So when you're ready, Will.
Okay, cool. I'll get started. Hi there. I'm glad we're finally meeting. My name is Will Kalachis. I'm with Keller Williams San Diego Metro. Before we get started, I wanted to give you just an intro to the home buying process. There's about 15 steps involved, so why don't we get started? The first step is for us to get to know each other. We'll discuss what you're looking for your home, your budget, and your timeline.
Okay.
Once we've kind of figured out and narrowed down what you're looking for, you'll partner with me, and I'll be your real estate agent, and together we'll work to find you the perfect home.
Perfect. Sounds great.
Cool. So the first step is signing a buyer's agreement. Before we start looking for homes, we'll get that signed. This agreement will sort of outline our responsibilities to each of each other throughout this home buying process. The first step is to get pre-approved. So now that we're working together, it's time to get pre-approved for a mortgage. This will give you an idea of what you can afford, and then we can narrow down your search. I can I can recommend loan brokers for you, or if you have one that you were recommended or that you want to work for, that's up to you. So you can just let me know about that.
Okay. I probably would love to get any kind of referral that you have would be
Okay.
great.
Okay, great. I have a few great ones that I work with, so
Awesome.
I'll get some choices over to you. Once we get the pre-approval, we can start looking for homes that meet your budget and your criteria. I'll send you some listings, and then we'll set up appointments to go check them out in person.
Okay. Awesome.
Cool. The next step after we get pre-approval is to go tour homes. So each home that you have an interest in, we'll go take a look at together, and we'll take notes about what you do and don't like, and then we'll sort of narrow it down from there. And
Okay.
that's kind of the next step. The step after that is to write an offer. Once we find the home that you really like, you and I will work together to construct an offer, and we'll make it on your behalf. I'll help you determine the right price and guide you through the entire negotiation process.
Okay. Yay.
Yeah, it's fun stuff. After that, excuse me.
Oh, nothing. I was just giggling with excitement.
Okay, glad you're excited. Um, After that, once the seller has a contract in hand, we'll execute the contract. Or sorry, once your offer is accepted, we'll work through executing the contract. This is a legally binding document that outlines the terms of the sale.
All right. Perfect.
Once we're in contract, um, and if necessary, in most cases it is, we'll do a home inspection. After the contract is executed, we'll get that scheduled. This will identify any issues with the home that may need to be addressed before we close.
Okay. All right. Perfect.
Once once that home inspection is completed, we'll take a look at it together, and we'll negotiate any issues that the inspection may or may not reveal. Once we have a list of those, we'll negotiate with the seller to determine who will be responsible for fixing the items. In that case, it may be the seller, it may be you, but that's all a negotiation that will happen with my guidance throughout the process.
Okay.
Once we've kind of determined what needs to be taken care of or repaired and who takes care of it, we'll then have an appraisal done. Um, a licensed appraiser will come and take a look at the home and assess the value by comparing it to other homes in your market, and then we'll ensure that the price is fair.
Okay. Excellent.
And then if there's any other further inspections needed, and depending on the results of the appraisal and the inspection, we may need to schedule those, but that will sort of take place after the appraisal happens. But that's just an extra step to ensure we're on the right track and the price is right and the home looks good.
Okay.
Um, Towards the end, we'll get you some home insurance. That what that does is supports the lender, and a lot of lenders will require it. Before closing, you'll need to secure that, and that'll protect you, the homeowner now, in case, or the soon to be homeowner, in case there's any damage to the property. That homeowner's insurance will go to the lender.
Okay. All right. I'm sure glad I'm hiring you because I have no idea what you're talking about. So this is great.
Yeah, I mean it's good to have a professional helping you. Usually,
Yeah, it's a lot
not
to do.
yeah, there's a lot to do, and it can be an overwhelming process for a first time buyer, especially. So don't worry, I'll work with you through the whole process, and we'll take everything in one step at a time at your sort of pace. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to me anytime you need, and I can explain everything in depth as we go. So I know it seems overwhelming at this point, but don't worry, we'll work through it together, and no need to get overwhelmed. But I totally understand how you feel.
Thank you.
Yeah, and so after we take care of the home insurance, we may want to consider purchasing a home warranty. This will cover any major repairs that may arise in the first year of your home ownership, and it's always a good idea to have it. It can't hurt. So
Right.
that's always good. Um, Towards the end, literally on the last day of escrow and towards the very end of the whole process, you and I will do our final walkthrough. You and I will walk the property, make sure all the repairs have been taken care of, make sure everything's all good for you. Confirm that any appliances that may have transferred with the house are there. We'll take a whole big walk through the house, and that'll be the final step. And on that day, you'll close and you'll get the keys. So that's finally the time when everything's done, and you'll be free to move in. That day we'll sign any final paperwork you have, and we'll transfer the ownership to you.
Okay, perfect. That sounds great.
Okay, good. I'm glad. I know it's overwhelming, but hang in there. We'll get through it together. And like I
I
said,
feel a lot better with you on my side. So
good. I'm glad.
yay.
And throughout the process, like I said, I'm always here for you. So you can reach me anytime. I'm always available. So that's kind of to sum it up, sort of 15 steps. You can think of it like that. Are there any questions that I can answer for you about the process, or was there anything that came up for you?
I think so. A lot of questions, but I'm gonna
Or
take a minute and process everything and get it kind of organized, and then I'll circle back and we can go over everything when I have a second to
okay,
get my
sounds
thoughts
good. You can
together.
cool. Sounds good. You can always call me or text me, and we can set up a time to meet. Or if you want, we can do a Zoom call, whatever's comfortable for you, and we'll talk through it together. So take some time, gather your thoughts, and organize anything you need, and give me a call.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Well, I'm so excited.
Thank you. I'm excited to be working together. I appreciate it.
Okay, very good. A couple of things that I want to clarify. One, appraisals are, at least in California, are ordered by the lender.
Mm,
All right, and
yeah.
just want to make sure that we all understand that. Two, the home insurance thing is all I'm trying to do is get them to start thinking about that.
Yeah.
If they need an insurance agent that, they need to be referred to, then we have some of those. Otherwise, they need to just start thinking about those. It's not necessarily something that we have to do, but it supports the lender because they're going to ask for that information anyways. So if we can help the lender, help them get started on that process, then great. It just makes the everything go a little bit smoother. And lastly, home warranty. It is optional. And if they choose to move forward with the home warranty, then that's their choice. I do want to point out one other thing about words and how those words matter. When we say stuff like we'll help you do this or we'll help you do that or we'll get you some home insurance. No, we will not. So,
Right. Right.
just to be clear, we're just saying start thinking about some home and
Yeah.
homeowners
Okay.
insurance, because I don't want anybody coming back to any of us or you and saying, "Hey, you told me you're going to get me some homeowners
Right.
insurance." People are very literal, and
Yeah.
as you know, in this industry can be very litigious, and we want to keep our nose clean as much as
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I think you did a fantastic job. All right, so let's go ahead and have Melinda, you'll reverse roles. And for the sake of time, let's assume that Will knows a little bit about buying a home. All right. And when you're finished, we're going to try something else that's a little bit different. So when you're ready, Melinda, will be your buyer.
Okay. Okay. Hi there. I'm glad we're finally meeting. My name is Melinda, and I'm a real estate agent with Keller Williams. Before we get started, I want to give you an overview of the home buying process. I'm sure you're already sort of familiar, but we're just going to go over how we do it real quick. There's about 15 steps involved, so let's dive in. The initial step one is going to be our meeting that we're having. The first step is for us to get to know each other. We'll discuss what you're looking for in a home, your budget, and your timeline.
Yeah.
Good.
That sounds great. Cool.
Okay. And then step two is going to be partnering with an agent. So once we've established what you're looking for, you'll partner with me, your real estate agent, to help you find your dream home.
Awesome. Sounds good. Let's do it.
Awesome. Step three is signing the buyer's agreement. So before we start searching for homes, we'll sign a buyer's agreement. This agreement's going to outline our responsibilities to each other throughout the whole process.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, and step four is going to be getting pre-approved. So now that we're officially working together, it's time to get pre-approved for a mortgage. This will give you an idea of what you can afford and kind of help you narrow down your search.
Okay. Sounds
Okay.
good.
Step five is going to be starting the search. So with pre-approval in hand, we can start looking for homes that meet your criteria. I'll send you listings and set up appointments for us to go and view the homes in person,
Okay.
which is the fun part.
Sweet.
And then step six is, well, this is the fun part, it's touring the actual homes. So we're going to go tour all the homes that you're interested in. We'll visit each property together and take notes on what you like, what you don't like, and kind of narrow it down and get you into the perfect home that you're looking for.
Sweet. Sounds fun.
Okay. Then step seven is going to be making an offer. So once we find the perfect home, we'll make an offer on your behalf. I'll help you determine the right price and guide you through the negotiation process based on all the comps and all the things in the neighborhood and all that fun stuff.
Awesome.
And then executing the contract. So step eight, we'll get your offer accepted and then we'll execute the contract. So this is a legally binding document that will outline the terms of the sale and get us locked in.
Awesome.
Step nine is home inspection. After the contract is executed, we'll schedule a home inspection that will identify any issues with the home that need to be addressed before closing.
Okay.
And then step 10 would be negotiating any of the issues. So if the inspection reveals any issues, we'll negotiate with the seller to determine who's going to be responsible for fixing them.
Okay.
Hopefully them.
Hopefully. Yeah.
And then step 11 is appraisal. So once any of the issues have been resolved, we'll have an appraiser come in, assess the value of the home to ensure that the price is fair.
Okay.
And then step 12 is further inspection. So depending on the results of the appraisal and the inspection, we may need to do further inspections. And then step 13 would be home insurance. But before closing, you'll need to secure home insurance. This will protect you in case of any damage to the property. That goes to the lender.
Okay.
Because the lender is going to need evidence that you're insured, that their investment's insured.
And I need to find that. I need to start looking into that home insurance, correct?
Yes, absolutely. I would start looking into that.
Okay.
Yeah. Step 14 is home warranty, which is optional. You may also want to consider purchasing a home warranty. It'll cover any major repairs that may arise in the first year of home ownership.
Okay.
You're kind of familiar with that already, so kind of that's up to you.
Okay.
Step 15 is the walkthrough process. That is when we are going to close, we get the keys. Finally, it's time to move in. So we'll sign all the necessary paperwork, transfer ownership, and the property will be yours.
Cool.
The end.
Cool. Sounds fun.
Do you have any questions or anything that I can answer about all of that before we get
No,
started?
that sounds good. So I need to start looking into home insurance.
Yes. Yeah, start looking into your options, see who you might want to go with. If you have any questions about it, I can help you. I can guide you through that. I can send you some companies that might work for you. But
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, that sounds good. I'll start doing that, and I'll start if I have any questions, I'll start looking into it, and I'll call you or text you,
Yeah.
maybe hop on a
Yeah,
call.
any questions you have, I'm here to help. If you need any kind of recommendations or referrals, I can point you in the right direction.
Okay, cool.
I'm here to help with anything you need.
Sounds good. Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
All right, you're so welcome. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, thanks.
Okay. Bye, Will.
Bye.
Like a pro. Good job, Melinda.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I have
Absolutely.
my camera off, so you can't see me flailing about. So that helps.
Yeah. Look, I wanted to do another way of doing this, and I'm going to quickly share my screen here. And we're going to go to the buyer presentation itself. So does everybody see my screen?
Mhm.
Okay, so we're meeting with a buyer, and just as a reference, typically home buyers are met at the office, and home sellers, you go to their house, right? And always practice safety if you're going to someone's house. So, in other words, let somebody else know, or if you want, you can bring somebody else along too. But when we're doing the presentation, so you have the presentation up, right? Ready to buy a home. Hey, thanks for meeting with me. Really do appreciate this. Looking forward to helping you get your home, buy your home. A little bit about me. Here it is. My DRE number is 018-53445. And if you don't have that memorized, memorize it. Right. I am a single agent. I work by myself. This is all about me and the benefits of working with me as an individual agent versus a team. And if you're on a team, this is all about me. This is why I work with a team. And, working with a team is amazing. And here's all the benefits of working with a team. All right. So let's go ahead and answer the number one question, the home buying process. All right. So you've already purchased a home in the past, and I'm not going to go through all of these, but I just at least want you to know what my process is for buying a home. They're pretty easy. First step is the initial meeting. That's what we're doing here. Second step is to partner with an agent. That's what we're going to do today. But we'll do that by signing an agreement. All right. Have you thought about getting a loan, or are you going to be paying for this in cash? Oh, okay. You're going to be working with a lender. We'll set you up with a preferred partner lender that we work with. Otherwise, you can use whoever you want. I just need to be put in touch with that person. After we get that pre-approval process and I get that letter and confirmation, then we're going to start the search. And I can even start it beforehand and just start sending you listings here and there. But I won't go. We'll schedule tours after we make sure that that pre-approval is in place. And that took care of touring homes. Once you find a home that you like, we're going to go ahead and make an offer. And then if that offer gets accepted, then we're going to execute the contract, meaning that the seller is going to agree to your offer, and then we're going to move forward and open escrow. Step 9 is home inspection. So we're going to have you, as the buyer, go through the process of getting your home inspected because we want to make sure that we know everything that's going on. I, as an agent, can only do an agent visual inspection disclosure, which means that I can only look at things. But we want an inspector who's going to come in, he's going to look under things, he's going to lift things and all that type of stuff. They have the license to do that. If there's anything to negotiate, then we'll go ahead and negotiate those things. If they find something in the inspection process, or if we need to do a further inspection, like hiring a structural engineer or bringing in a pest control person, then we can go ahead and do that too. The lender is going to order an appraisal at that point. All right. And what they're going to do is they're going to send an appraisal out, make sure that it is valued at what the asking price is, and if they're going to loan on that. Further, like I said, if we need more inspections based off of what we learned in the home inspection process, then we'll go over that. Home insurance, this isn't necessarily something that I do, but I just want you to start thinking about it because the lender is going to ask. Now, in California, you're not required to have insurance, but most lenders, if you have a loan on it, are going to request it. So since you're going to be financing this, I suggest that you start thinking about who this is. We don't want to slow up the process. Also, home warranty, another optional thing, but I highly recommend it for at least the first year. It covers things like appliances and other mechanical items inside of a home that can potentially break, and at least you want it covered for the first year. So that's good to know. Lastly, as long as everything goes well, we close and get the keys. We'll do a final walkthrough and make sure everything is, exactly as we discussed it during the negotiation process. And if you like it, we close, we get the keys, and we move forward. And you're a happy customer. Sound good? There you go. All right. So I wanted to point that out just like that because it is the home buying process as you're going through the process of presenting, and then after you're finished with this particular slide, all right, let's move on. Here's what I'm going to do. Here's what's needed to help buying your home, and then you move into the getting approved, and we're going more in detail of all this if you want to. But the main step, the main process is right here. This is why we practice this dialogue specifically by itself. We all understand everything's good.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay.
Yes,
All
that was
right.
super helpful. Actually, this one was extremely helpful.
Yeah. If you're, well, I know that you're
They
fairly,
all are, but
they are, but this is this one, and for the sellers, these are the main things that people want to know. Like, what do I need to do?
yeah.
That's the bottom line. And then, like, even we have other things like questions that might come up. Okay, so I understand the process, but what are you going to do to help me buy a home? Or with the seller side, I understand the process, but what are you going to do to sell my house? And that's where you go into the quick listing uh, uh, presentations, and it discusses all the steps of the marketing piece of it. But we'll get to all those. We cover everything, and that's about it. I have nothing else to say other than amazing job.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a great day. Go lead generate. Get deals. Yay! That's right. All right. So that's the script. I hope that you found it useful. Just head over to realestatescriptspractice.com for more resources and downloads. This content is for educational purposes only and does not make any guarantees. We suggest you seek the help and or advice of your broker, coach, mentor, office manager, attorney, and or financial advisor. Brought to you by Darren Tunstall, a licensed real estate agent, DRE number 018534445. This content operates independently of Darren's affiliation with Keller Williams Realty and any realtor associations. The intention is to provide you with valuable information, insights, and practical tools. Please note that all results may vary and participants are responsible for their own actions.